Okay, come on. Let me have my seat. Let me have my seat. My cat's fighting me for the seat. Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Actually, I want to talk about a serious subject today. And being a New Yorker, it's near and dear to my heart. Legislation was passed, obviously, as everybody knows at this point, in the middle of the night when everybody was sleeping, for the SAFE Act, because they're so concerned about our safety. So they reduced our capacity of magazines down to 7, which is ludicrous. And now by the end of April of this year, you have to register all your assault weapons. Now, let's go back in time in history a little bit, and we'll go back to Nazi Germany. And what did they do? They made them register their weapons first. What came next? Confiscation. What came after confiscation? Then the government did whatever the hell it wanted to do because there was nobody to stop them. So I hear all the arguments all the time of people saying that, well, why do we need to have assault rifles? And you don't need assault rifles. It's not for hunting or target practice. We need to have assault rifles for one simple reason, and very simple: to overthrow a tyrannical government. That's it. We have the legal right in this country to bear arms, to be able to uprise and overthrow the government when the government is corrupt. Well, I don't know if you guys have checked lately, but the government is pretty corrupt. And all these measures that they're doing in the guise of safety, if we can even go back to the Patriot Act, when the people willingly gave up our rights in this country in the guise of safety, which is, again, was complete and utter BS. I remember back when the 9/11 happened. I mean, my twins were born 2 months later, and my children are now 12, and we've been at war ever since, which, is, again, ridiculous. But getting back to this New York State with the SAFE Act and the registration of all assault rifles. Now, people are going to do what they want to do. They're going to make the decisions to register their weapons or not to register their weapons. But basically what you're doing is you're turning into a lot of law-abiding citizens are now going to be criminals. Because I know a lot of people that are not going to register their assault weapons. Okay, there's a lot of people that are not going to get rid of their 20 and 30 round magazines. Because if it comes down to it, and we need to rise up at some point in this country, if you got everything is gone, how are you going to defend yourself? It's sad that the way that things are going in the sheeple, I like to call them, out there, decide that, well, for our safety, we got to give up these things for our safety. Safety from who? Lunatics are still going to kill people, okay? And I mean, if you just go back to the one in Colorado where that kid walked into the movie theater and killed all those people. Well, guess what, folks? If we'd had the laws that enabled average citizens to carry their weapons, somebody in that theater would have popped a cap in his butt, and that would have been the end of him. Then we wouldn't have to feed him and clothe him and give him, 3 meals a day and keep him in a nice warm bed for the rest of his freaking life because he's out of his mind, I mean, you're going to wait on the police to save you? By that point, how many are going to be dead? You're going to stand in the corner and say, oh, please don't shoot me next. But I'll tell you what, I would rather have my firearm, because I would have shot that young man right in his head and ended the situation, and a lot more people would have been alive. And there's a lot of people out there who would have done the same thing. It's sad that we have come to this point in this country where we have to worry about having ourselves defended, just going out to the freaking movie theater, or having our kids go to school, and then it's a gun-free zone. Well, if I'm a lunatic and I've decided I wanted to kill a bunch of people, where are you going to go? You're going to go where they don't have any guns. But if the administrators and the principal and, security or whatever was at those schools, guess what? They wouldn't go in there and kill those people because they know somebody would be there to stop them. Most of these lunatics have a death wish anyway. Most of the time, either they kill themselves, or they have the police take them out, or they just give up because they want the fame and notoriety. Well, you know what? It's just at the expense of innocent lives. No way. Being able to protect ourselves is what we need to be able to do. And so, what's going on here in New York is just absolutely insane. Like I said, once again, you're going to turn a lot of good law-abiding citizens, citizens into criminals. Because I can tell you, I know there's a lot of people that are not going to get rid of their 30, 20, 30, 40 round magazines. There's a lot of people that are not going to register their assault rifles. You know, they're just not going to do it because they know what's coming next. The next thing is that the government's going to come and take them away, or the state, or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's just it's sad the way this country's going, and it's going down a toilet in a hurry. So tell me what your thoughts are. You know, I mean, if I could do it, I would move out of New York in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, with my divorce, you know, my kids are 12 years old, and you know, they still. My son goes with his mother. My daughter doesn't, but my son still goes with his mother. And you know what? I can't take my kids away from their mom. You know, so I'm kind of stuck right now. You know, 5, 6 years down the road, who knows what's going to happen? But who knows what's going to happen 5, 6 years down the road anyway, if we're even going to still have a country. So that was my topic of discussion, was the SAFE Act in New York State, which is nuts. And you got idiots like Mario Cuomo and that jerk down in New York City, Bloomberg. Now, I'm upstate New York, so, you know, we think a little bit different than bleeding heart liberals in the cities. So, you know, it's a sad thing the way this country's going down the toilet. The state is just ridiculous. We're taxed to death here. It's insane. But tell me what you think. Just my thoughts on this SAFE Act thing. Hate to see good people become criminals because they want to be able to defend themselves. But it's going to happen. So good luck to everybody. And to all the other people in New York, you know, you have a choice to make. And you're going to have to make it. So have a great day. And thanks for listening. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.